Well, welcome, Lori. I'm so excited to be able to chat with you for a little bit. I know
Thank
you wish
you.
you could be here, but at least we can do this.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for making this opportunity available.
No problem. Well, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to making this short film?
Okay. Well, I was a therapist by trade, like a mental health therapist. And yeah, I loved it. I loved helping people, and I'm still am very interested in people and just kind of the human condition. But after a while, that kind of ran its course, and I retired, and we started moving around a lot, and it's a state license. So I actually, when I moved out of state, I was in my 50s, and I just didn't really bother getting relicensed. So, and I've always wanted to be a writer, always. I loved reading, and I love movies. And now, of course, with the streaming, I love series. And I always wanted to be a writer. And so, in retirement, it became a thing I could do more of. Yeah. So actually, I have like one little novel that I never bothered getting published or even, editing. Although I like it now that I've been writing more, I look back and I'm like, that's pretty good. I might make a screenplay about that someday. Um, and then I have, many short stories, and about, wow, maybe 15 years ago, maybe 10, I started coaching, helping coach our high school drama department. And I was assistant director for a long time. I only was like head director of one play with the high schoolers, but that was a play that I wrote. So while I was doing that coaching, assistant coaching, I took a junior college class in playwriting and screenwriting. And so I wrote a play for the high school. That was a farce, and I kept adding characters. That was super fun because more people would be like, "Oh, can I try out for the play?" And I kept adding in characters. Super fun, silly farce. But then I got from there. I got into screenwriting. So
That's great.
that's
So, where did the idea for the dumping station come from?
I was my husband and I were living in southern Utah at the time, and we would go. We lived down in the desert, but we would go up to the mountains. We lived fairly close to the mountains to cross country ski. And there was this lone dumping station out on the side of the mountain. And it just had this really stark sign, like dumping station. I just was so intrigued. And because it was the middle of nowhere, southern Utah, it was never locked and there was never anybody there. And it was beautiful. It really was. It was huge. It was this huge parking lot. And it kind of looked over into this valley. And I thought, what, what is a dumping station? I kind of didn't know. I've never had an RV. I mean, I knew in essence what a dumping station was. But we drove in and there was just kind of nothing there. And I thought, oh man, I I want to set something here. I wanted it to be a location. Um, and so I wrote this in 2018 is when I wrote it. And I just, to me, the metaphor was fairly obvious of, what it is kind of to dump on somebody your problems and I don't know, that idea
Hmm.
just came to me really, really quick. And I knew people in Southern Utah. That's where I had made my previous movies. I had three, I guess I had only two at the time. And I had it cast in my mind. It's just right around 2018, I filmed my first feature. And then after I filmed a feature, I didn't want to go back to a short. Um, so I just tabled it until now. Actually, a friend, Jeff Roth, who runs the Kanab Film Festival, which is a very nice film festival in southern Utah. He got, got a hold of me on Facebook and said, "Do you have any projects right now that are going?" And I was like, "No, I'm planning a feature this coming fall." But I said, I don't have anything new for you. And then he kind of said, I'm sure it was tongue in cheek. He said, well, can you just like whip out a short to make and I was like, it's not that easy, really, to whip out a short. So I tabled that, and was I'm consumed with this feature I'm going to be doing. But then I kind of thought, well, I guess before I do my feature, I moved to Arizona. We moved to Arizona about 3 years ago, and I haven't filmed down here. And I was honestly getting very nervous about filming a feature with in a new place with people I didn't know. My film family was very close and tight, and I loved all of them up in southern Utah. And so I thought, well, maybe it might be good to get my re-wet my feet with directing because it's been a while, and just sort of see how it is with locations around here and things like that. So I I really whipped this together fast, and you can tell. I mean, it's I we did it in a day, which it's doable in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10-page script and very easy, but getting the RVs was a challenge, and just the people I worked with are super busy, and my the cameraman was my swim coach, and he is a total amateur. He has all the equipment. I shouldn't say total amateur. He hasn't done anything professional yet, but he has all of the equipment. He's just busy with swimming. He's a fantastic swimmer, and so that's his first love, and he coaches and stuff like that. And so it was right in the middle of swim season when we filmed, and a lot of the actors I used were in a local theater company, and they had a production coming up. So if we had waited, they would be starting rehearsals for that. So I just, that's why we did it fast, because I was really hoping that we could kind of make it for this festival season, which we did. Yeah. But we had to find a different location, different actors, everything. But I'm I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased, especially too with the editing. I thought my editor was fantastic, and all the actors just came together. Um, I'm I don't usually act in my own stuff, and so that was another kind of hurdle for me to get through that. So,
Yeah, I know what it's like to act on camera. Um, but sometimes it's convenient. It's one less person. It's someone you don't have to explain anything to. You just need to do it.
Jacob, yes. That was exactly it. We were getting it knocked out. The actress that I did have cast for that was also very busy, and we just wouldn't have. I mean, we ended up having this like hour and a half chunk during that day, and we just did it. Now, hair and makeup and everything, that's a regret I have that I didn't take. I feel like my other actors are all gorgeous and beautiful. I wish I would have maybe done a little more with myself, but that's, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have trouble seeing themselves or hearing themselves on camera because it doesn't sound the same. And I don't know. I had to get over that a long time ago. I and especially when I edit my own work, I see myself so much. I'm so desensitized to it. Like it is what it is, and then I move on.
Oh, yeah,
this,
yeah,
this
that's
isn't
good.
getting
I mean,
better.
I'm still new at that. Like I've done theater. I've done a lot of theater.
Same.
And there you
Yeah.
don't, you don't have a choice. You never really see yourself. You just need to project and concentrate on your character and remember your
Mhm.
lines. Um, but yeah, this was a little different. And then not being able to see some of the continuity with my part because we did do it so fast. I,
Yeah.
you know, it, the I don't do not have to explain to you, but um like you were right, it is convenient. I knew the character, I was there. We knocked it out. We got it done.
Yeah.
And I do think with indie films, and this was guerrilla filming, truth be told, um that's what it's all about, or you will never have a finished product. There's certain things you just have to plow through and keep moving forward, or you will have this brilliant little short or script that never gets done.
Right.
And that's the one thing that's my biggest priority is finishing. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's great to go out and have fun and shoot, but if you don't have a product at the end, it's well, it was an experience. That's what it was.
yeah, yeah, and sometimes an expensive, really kind of
Mhm.
time-consuming experience. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So on that note, I have to give a shout out to my editor because you know, and I'd never worked with him before. Josh Feldhake, Feldhake. I don't know. I've never talked to him. We just did it all online. He's going to be in your
Josh is
festival.
coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Josh will be here.
Brutus, yeah, Brutus.
Bruiser.
Wait, what is it?
Bruiser.
It's Bruiser. Bruiser. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I So he let me see a little sneak peek of that, like when he said, "Well, I can, do this," and oh my gosh, he was top notch. So a shout out to him and Aaron, who's going to be coming and speaking
Mhm.
or attending. He also was a total last minute, just nailed it. I just love my cast and crew. And my editor. They all just did such a great job, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the things about theater and about filmmaking is, I mean, there's something about the experience that just really, you have this shared experience. It really brings you together, and it's so sad when it's over because you're just like, well, can't we just do more of this? So you have to go make another
I,
movie.
I hope I hope my cast and crew feels that way.
I guess I
Yeah.
should I should hope for that too. I guess I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I heard Taylor Sheridan. It's Taylor. Yeah, I always get that confused. I heard him speak at a Utah festival, and somebody asked him. They said, everybody loves working with you. Why do you think it is that everybody loves working with you so much?" And I really appreciated his answer because he, I mean, I can't quote, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, but he said something to the effect that, directing is hard and it is stressful. And managing your stress when you have all of these people just looking at you, waiting, like, okay, what now? And, it's snowing and it's supposed to be a sunny day or vice versa. It is managing stress and managing people can be really tough. And that's why directing is probably one of the most challenging but beautiful and wonderful things I've ever attempted. and to do it well for any project, I think, is a tough thing. So, yeah, that's why you appreciate your cast and crew so much,
Hmm.
because they join. Sometimes it's hard to communicate exactly what you want or need, and so they're trying to read your mind in a way. And they're all. I've said this in other interviews. We're coming together first for a piece of art that is could not be done without each single person. Like each person there is a necessity. They're a necessity, and you'd be lost without them. And I don't know if, like, this was a new cast and crew. I don't know if they really knew that as much, because they were kind of new to film. They'd all done a lot of theater. So I want to shout out to them, because I don't know if they really know how much you appreciate that, how much I appreciate them and their hard work all day in the wind, just working hard for something. It's really a special feeling,
Yeah.
like you're saying. Uh-huh.
Yeah. You said did you did you start shooting that feature yet, or is that coming up?
That is coming up.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm very excited. It's called The Baby, and it is, the main character is a mother of three, and she has a lot of wounds from her childhood and from her past. Um, and one of her sons has is a wheelchair user, and um, I'm thinking I'm going to have to probably specify what might be going on with him. But as we open, he's in his 20s, and as we open, his doctor's telling him he needs a new stent. So it would probably be something, uh, probably, well, something that a stent is needed for. I don't like to get too specific sometimes in my movies, because it's hard to, then you get doctors out there and stuff being like, that would never, yeah, we don't need that. So, but anyway, so they're a little bit hurting for money. They're happily married, essentially a pretty happy family, but she is the one that everyone's like, oh, okay, mom, kind of rolling their eyes a little bit. Anyway, as we open, she inherits, a great uncle of hers dies, and she inherits three things. She inherits some jewelry, a jewelry set, a butt ugly painting, and half of a resort in Mexico. So she goes to get him appraised, and she gets this idea that the painting might be valuable, but she can't fence it around here because she doesn't have provenance. So she takes her family, since they have half this resort, she takes her family on this kind of wild goose chase down to Mexico to try to fence this painting. Um, and in the meantime, she finds her voice. She deals with some of her um, baggage from the past, and can come out on the other side to really understand the love and the more generous love she can have for her family, because she's been kind of grasping and just kind of a bitchy mom, and and everybody loves her. The family has a lot of love, but it's a little bit like, okay, mom, is dad around? That kind of thing. Like, they go to dad, or they go to the oldest son, the one who uses the wheelchair, because he's brilliant. And so it's a dramedy, and it's a road trip story, because a lot of it takes place in the van heading down to Mexico. So it's cute. Oh, and that's right. And their daughter won't go on the trip unless her boyfriend Derek can come. So Derek comes along, and then she has this little dog Tinkerbell, who just hates everybody but her, and is like always in her purse. And she'll say like, take Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell's like, and the kids are like, I'm afraid of Tinkerbell. So it's I don't know, I think it's a cute and funny in parts, but also pretty moving too.
I like it. Sounds fun.
Well, and there's also, I mean, I keep adding things. I will work on my pitch. I'll
I'm
tell you that.
I'm horrible at pitching. I'm the worst. I was saying this to someone the other day. What last weekend we were at a local Comic Con, and we were talking about the festival and
Uh-huh.
whatever, and someone asked me about a project. I'm like, oh, I'm the worst at pitching. He's like, you need to get better at that. I said, it's true.
Oh yeah.
It's true. I do. I do.
I that is one thing I knew I should have looked over my pitch before I interviewed with you, but I didn't. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But one of the neat things about the baby is it has I guess you would call it a little bit of a magical realism
Okay.
feel, because some flashbacks, and also her mother who is dead kind of shows up in a few scenes, and so we can see that voice in her head, our main character Rachel. We can see what drives her to be sometimes as grasping as she is. It's her mother's voice, like, oh, this will never work, or, I knew you would always be hurting for money, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
No, that sounds good. Sounds fun. Maybe you can
yeah.
submit it next year.
Oh, you bet, man. I hope
Good.
to have a finished product by then
That'd
for
be great.
sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any advice or any final thoughts for anyone watching this? That's
The dumping station,
well,
or
or
this?
this
Oh, okay.
interview. This interview. Yeah.
Oh, well, if you have an inclination, do it. You're never too old. You don't need a lot of money. I remember if you write screenplays or plays, they're really not finished unless they're produced, right? So I remember figuring that out after I had about 3 screenplays under my belt, and I saying to my husband, "Well, I think I need to make a movie." And he was like, "Lori, we don't have that kind of money. What are you talking about?" And as a high school drama coach, one thing you know how to do is make things on a shoestring. So you just get it done. Just try. Follow your love, and yeah. I also want you to know the dumping station is not about anybody I know. It just
They're just characters.
totally was. Yeah. What?
They're just characters.
Yeah. Just honestly, really, just my imagination, and I I wanted I wanted there to be a pretty clear conflict for each character, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing more important to people or more interesting than relationships.
Yep. I
So,
agree. That's perfect. Well,
yeah.
thank you, Lori. I appreciate your time. This was fun chatting.
Oh, really fun. I really hope to, meet you in person very soon. And if you have any projects, you need a PA or anything, I'm always happy to just be on set, be a driver, whatever,
That sounds great.
help out any way I can.
That'd be great. We love networking,
Yeah,
bringing just the bigger family of filmmakers. So,
exactly. Yes, yes. So thank you so much to Hila.
you're
Hila
welcome.
Valley.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
thank
you
you.
guys.
All right.
Best of luck. I will really miss being there.
Yeah. Well, some other
Yeah.
time. We'll see you
Okay.
later. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.